The truth is you can be, do, and have anything you desire. You just got to get that. And I know you know it, but I need you to believe it. You can be, do, and have anything you desire.
You've gotten great at divine working, but what about divine living? Welcome to the Divine Living Podcast. I'm your host, Gina DeVee. You're not alone in wanting more, and here at the Divine Living Podcast, you can expect to be part of conversations from women like us who unapologetically dream big and are obsessed with manifesting our most fabulous lives. The conversation starts now.
Hey, my love. Welcome to today's podcast on the Divine Living Podcast. You are getting a very special episode of day 3 of Own Your Throne. I've been doing a brand new series about owning your past and owning your present so that you can consciously create an epic future, one that you will be very proud to own. So this is a live training that I did, and I wanted you to get in on the goods. So make sure you sit back, relax, take notes, soak it all up. This is all about you absolutely consciously creating a brand new, evolved, up-leveled, epic future for yourself. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of Own Your Throne. We have been focusing on owning your past, which we discovered is absolutely essential so that we do not stay stuck in it. And quite frankly, there isn't a human on the planet that isn't stuck in their past in some way, myself included. And so it really becomes our response ability, meaning our ability to respond to life circumstances, to wake up to the next level of what we must become aware of so that we are not repeating our family dynamics and our childhood contracts in our adult life. So obviously, I'm going to be diving way deeper in this in the 10-week course, but for you to really claim and get for yourself that there were things that happened to you, there were decisions that you made in your past that are typically very unconscious. And it's the stuff that we don't want to have recreated in our lives. And yet, until we wake up, until we literally transform our opinions of ourselves and transform our consciousness, we play it out. And it just comes, your mom or your dad or whatever those dynamics were, come in the name and face of someone else. I saw that when I hadn't fully owned my past and really woken up to it and really became unavailable. This is the other key that I'll be teaching in the course. Until I became unavailable to relive my past, here's how it played out. So the feelings that I had about being insignificant and codependent, that everyone else was more important than me and what I wanted or needed didn't matter. How did that show up? Dating the local loser rock stars of Detroit. That's right. They showed up in me totally being available for everyone else's needs, going to their gigs, paying for their dinners. I know, but it's true. So I'm just saying, I was totally invisible to receiving, to my needs, what my desires. I was so programmed and conditioned to be there for everybody else. All right. Well, painfully, I woke up to that one and realized I was trying to trying to date who I wanted to actually become. That one was completed. And then I started my business and was all excited about, isn't this going to be great? Well, when you grow up in fundamentalist Christianity and some strict upbringing, there's very severe consequences that are taught. Right? Like you are good or you are bad. There is a right and there is a wrong. It is all or none. It's black or white. And so there is this feeling of if I didn't get it right, I was going to get in trouble. And I was always afraid of getting in trouble. And I was always afraid of the consequences of not being perfect and getting it right. If anyone understands that one and has turned into Little Miss Perfect, please drop something in the chat to let me know I'm not alone. And how did that show up in my life? Clients. Here I was so excited to start this big, beautiful business of mine. And I literally attracted clients that would give me the experience of being in trouble. I was like afraid to open my emails because there were complaints and criticisms, and it was just like unreasonable requests, and like I could never do enough and I could never win. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've recreated parts of my childhood. Now, not all of it. My childhood wasn't all bad, and maybe yours wasn't either. But there were parts of these dynamics. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember feeling afraid to get it wrong. And here, this is what I'm doing in my own business. Then woke up to that, transformed that, created a different concept of myself. Then what was the next area? Team. I had so much toxicity in my own company. It was like a revolving door, like nothing worked for years. And this was like the first year of my business, the hardest thing I did was get new clients. For like the next 5 years, the hardest thing for me to do was to get team. And the problem is everyone kept saying like, you need to read Top Grading and you need to get better at hiring and screening and all this stuff that was just matter to matter. And say, you're like, you need to get better at marketing and attract ideal clients. And so I would like do all the things to get better at it. And it didn't shift my marketing did not shift me attracting ideal clients. Me creating a client requirement checklist, me raising my consciousness, me prioritizing myself, me changing the concept of myself, not from the neck up, but from pure non-negotiable. And you know what the number one thing on my client requirement checklist was? They had to appreciate me. That's right. Glenn thought it was ridiculous. He was like, what do you mean the number one thing you're looking for in a client is for them to appreciate? That's right. I give all. I give heart. I give soul. I've invested multiple 7 figures in this psyche and this spiritual development. Like if I'm going to give it all, I want to feel and have the experience of being appreciated, not from a codependent way, from a place of pleasure and joy. So second was wealth consciousness. Third was coachable. Like the list went on, but the number one requirement, bottom line, if someone wrote an email and I didn't feel like I was going to be appreciated or my team was going to be appreciated or the brand or any of it, we send that person off in love because there's definitely a better place for that person to thrive and prosper. So I did I spent tens of thousands on coaches and hiring courses. And has anyone ever like tortured themselves enough to read Top Grading? Like, I mean, the thing is like 14 Bibles thick and way more, like talk about sucking the life out of you. But this is what we're taught when we don't have a spiritual connection. We don't have a feminine instinct. We think that things outside of us are going to change and make a difference. You know what made the difference in my team? Now I have like the most long-standing, loyal, rock star team that I want to go to dinner with. Like, I mean, everything is amazing about all of my team members and has been for a long time. I rose my consciousness to do the work that I teach in this course. What I realized is how I was recreating my past in my business at this point and at this level was about support. So if any of you are dealing with team frustration, can't attract the A-team players, are intimidated, think what A-team players would work for you, or they're too expensive, or like whatever, or just attract talent, but they're not on culture for you, all of that mismatch. It was all about my relationship with support and the ability to be able to receive support in the way that I didn't feel that I did as a little girl. So all of these, and I could go on and on and on, but you're getting enough of the idea. Anything that is not currently working in your life is due to old unconscious programming that you've got to wake up to. It never dawned on me that I had a fractured relationship with support. And it never dawned on me that the VA that just effed up or walked off or stole my list or whatever had anything to do with that. I thought that I had to go back to Top Grading and figure out how to do a better interview. But can't you see all that matter to matter stuff? It doesn't matter at all when the programming is such you don't deserve to be supported. You support everyone else. There's not an interview skill in the world that is going to override that programming. And so why I was so excited to dedicate a day and then super, super in-depth in the course is to introduce you to the concept of how much owning your past, becoming conscious to it, will absolutely open up the floodgates for your financial success, for your love, for your lifestyle, for your confidence, for all the things that aren't working or aren't working at the level that you desire them to. Owning your past, girlfriend. That's right. Okay. Then day 2, for those of you that haven't seen it, there's replays for all of this, and we'll make sure that you get the replay. Day 2 is about owning your present. And people think that the present is about doing, working, taking action, being busy, doing more, working harder, figuring it out more, studying more, getting another certification. Did I say doing more? Did I say working more? Did I say working longer? Did I say hustle it harder? Right. They can do that and they can have that. And the only thing we're going to crush here, ladies, is a tomato. Your present and owning your present is completely about preparing you for the future that you are calling in and drawing to you. And there is so much power in the present moment that when you become aware of what it takes to become the magnet, everything changes. Everything changes. And that is what the focus of the present moment is meant to be about, so that your future is such a radically different experience than what you're experiencing today. But this is not magic tricks. This is not fake it till you make it. This is about doing deep, substantive, profound psychological and spiritual work that is not meant to be grueling, by the way. It becomes very freeing. The truth will set you free. When you are blind to the truth of how you feel about yourself and how you're functioning and the way the world actually works, that's where the struggle comes in. That's where prison walls do not a prison make. But when you understand that, I was tempted, there's 2 different things I'm consciously manifesting right now. And they're not happening in the time frame that this Sicilian expects them to happen in. And so one of them, I know how to make this happen. And it's like everything that I'm supposed to have done, I've done. And I'm waiting for the manifestation. And it's not happening in my timing. And if I pick up the phone and make one phone call to push it, it will happen. And I'm training myself with this really beautiful work to draw the experience to me. Because as long as I condition my body and my mind and my psyche that for something to happen is going to require my masculine energy, my yang energy, my make it happen, my move it forward, what do I need God for? Where is the miracle in that? And so I see how Spirit is using this particular circumstance to train me for the bigger things to come that I'm going to really need God for. Like I could take the shortcut right now and I could pick up my phone and I could make this happen faster than whatever alleged divine timing is supposed to be. But I got really bored and burnt out with making it all happen. I got bored and burnt out from launches and funnels and Facebook ads and writing copy that strategized the whatever technique that was going to get someone to buy. It was life-sucking. And I literally said to myself, if that's what's required for me to do my work, I'm not interested. And so, and I do believe I'm meant to do my work, and I do believe you're meant to do your work. And I don't believe there's no pain, no gain. And I believe that any effort that I take is meant to be pleasurable. I know, audacious as that sounds, as woo-woo as that sounds, as eye-rolling as that might sound, as countercultures might, well, Gina, sometimes you have to. I'm not feeling led. I'm not feeling led to, and I'm open. Like, this is the other thing, some of my friends are like, like, well, what's the promise of the program? I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? You want me to go and write on my sales page the promise of the program? Do you think my women are idiots? Do you think they can't figure this out for themselves, if this is right for them or not, if they're magnetized towards it or not? Like, no, I am not going to waste 45 minutes of my time coming up with stupid words to rub brain cells together for people about what the promise of the program is. No, that is not unfun for me. What's fun for me is being here with you. What's fun for me is us all together finding our edge and learning how to manifest so powerfully that we become the magnets. I am beyond determined, and I don't have all the answers yet, but I've got some sort of way in happening, is I am committed that it is not about email marketing, it's about magnetism. And that is for each and every one of us. In whatever way we're putting ourselves out there on social media or email or whatever, what you get in the emails right now. And I have an amazing writer on my team. Amazing. She captures my voice like no one ever has. And I've gone back to writing because I thought this has to be personal. And if I don't want to write it, then you don't want to read it. Isn't that fair? Like, this is a relationship, people. So, what you get, and when you do or don't get an email, it's because I was or wasn't in the mood. It's like that. It's just like, let's let this be juicy and pleasurable. And like, when I got like stuck in, I have to write a solo mailer a week and I've got to do this and the stress, like, it was, no, I said, you know what? I'm going to be about magnetism and not email marketing. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that my God is going to bless the purpose that I was created for. And I'm not opposed to effort. I just have created a non-negotiable that the effort must be pleasurable. The effort must be pleasurable, or I won't do it because it's no longer worth it to me. And so these are the things that when you're owning your present, that you wake up to. It was really easy to hire someone and be like, all right, we'll send out these mailers and, like, this is what you're supposed to do during launch, right? You get used to your own stuff. And actually, while we're on it, because I am just curious, how did y'all get here? Was it a text, an email, or podcast, or social media? Just out of curiosity, I'm just curious how you consume and what you got or saw that drew you to this. So I don't think we're doing anything other than texting, emails, social media, or the podcast. So I'll love hearing what that is for you, because I'm only doing things that are full of pleasure. And so that leads me. So the point is about owning your present is about having woken up to the beliefs that are not serving you and utilizing the tools I'm going to be teaching you every step of the way about how to magnetize your desires to you. As we learned yesterday, there's a bunch of super successful women in here that went and made all the money and got all the accolades and climbed the ladder and the whole thing, and they were burnt out and they weren't happy anyways. So we're not doing that anymore. And I say this with love because this was the camp I came from. I didn't come from that camp. I came from the broke as a joke queenhood, like wannabe queens. We're not doing either one. We're not going to be broke and we're not going to be burnt out. Write that down. Broke and burnt out are non-negotiable. They are not options. They are not options. It is unnecessary. And it will require you to dive deep into this body of work that a lot of it you're going to know. Some of it's law of attraction, some of it's mindset, some of it's visualization, some of it's feeling. There's other elements that I have delved deeper into, like the law of least action that I was talking about yesterday, and some others, but it is applying it in such a deeper level and across the board. So today, to be able to claim your epic future, like consciously create it so much. Now we understand of why we keep creating the same stuff, or we find ourselves 3 months later, we're in the same financial position, we're at the same weight, we're, with the same place in our business, same broken heart from dating, whatever it is. I'm just going to clear the board, and we're just going to remember. The truth is you can be, do, and have anything you desire. You just got to get that. And I know you know it, but I need you to believe it. You can be, do, and have anything you desire. The only thing that's going to make it worth it is you really manifesting it from this feminine art, the feminine art of manifesting. So the place of the feminine is about desire. And so this is the starting point for creating your epic future. A month ago, I didn't have passion or desire about my future because I didn't have the clarity. And so going through this heroine's journey, if you're in that space, I'm going to help you get real clear on what your for such a time as this is and what your unique calling is. Because I got to tell you, that doesn't need to take long. The awesome part about consciousness, it's already, like, your purpose is already there. It's just about lifting the veil. All of this came, like, literally, what did it say, June 17th? As of May 17th, I didn't have any indicator of this. Zero. Can you imagine? Can you imagine, like, my calling, the thing that I can't stop thinking about and studying and preparing for all of you for, like, was nowhere in my consciousness even 30 days ago. That's what doing this work does. It lifts the veil, lifts the veil, lifts the veil on typically the things that have been there all along. So if you are not obsessed with a particular desire and you are not living in that level of passion, first of all, it's a requirement for you to have an epic future or any quality of life. And secondly, we're going to get you there. You deserve it, and it already exists. So I don't want you to make it harder than it is. We're just going to do some digging that, like, just, it's going to create blissful, humbling, beautiful results. And when I say digging, it just means going to a level of depth. It's not like, it's just going past the surface layers, going past the frantic, going past the frenzy, going past the depression, going past the overly busy, going past saying you'll do it later. When you do that, you get to this place of desire and passion. So for those of you that are already at a place of desire and passion, you're obsessed with getting your breakthrough, whatever it is. The 10K months, the 50K months, the high-end clients, the soulmate, the weight loss, the love for life again, figuring out what your next chapter is actually about. What I found and have always found is that working in smaller increments is way more powerful. So I want you to use what only humans have. And I want you to use some imagination right now. I want you to imagine 3 or 4 things that you desire to be different by the end of August. 3 or 4 things. They can be personal, they can be professional, they can be lifestyle, they can be a combination. I want you to take a look at, for me, I put down a weight loss goal. I put down a financial something, and I put down a lifestyle something. And I want you to just pick 3 or 4 things that aren't like totally obvious that are going to happen, but that would radically give you a different life experience. Were that already manifested? Like, this should start to give you some hope, give you some energy, give you some drive, give you some, and I don't care if you put it down before and it hasn't manifested. Don't you give up on your dreams. You write it down again. We're gonna see this through. You're starting to understand why it didn't happen before, because you kept doing the outside thing to change your experience when it had to be the inside thing. There's nothing wrong with you. We just weren't taught differently. And when you've got your 3 things, why don't you go and drop them into the chat? It's fun to make a royal declaration to the universe. Like, you know what? Here's what I'm up for. By the end of August, I'm going to weigh this, or this is going to be in my bank account, or I'm going to live here, or I'm going to have hired that person, or I'm going to whatever it is for you. And then we are about sisterhood and community. And you're going to write, one of your 3 things is going to rekindle what someone else maybe did give up on. Let's see what we got here. Scarlett, you keep coming up first, girlfriend. All right. Finances, renewed sense of self, renewed life path, better relationship with me. Beautiful. Beauty, my job, and to have fun plans. I love it, Lauren. I want to have found passion in my life again. Yes, Ellie. Lose 15 pounds. Heidi, I'm there with you. 10K months and attend the in-person of this course. Excellent. How detailed should this be? You get to decide. This is the beginning of self-permission. Colleen, double income, physical health scan, head to toe, deeper meditations for self-love. Beautiful. Kaylia, hey girl. By the end of August, I want to have an action plan to eliminate my debt. You can have an action plan to do that as of by the end of June. We can be eliminating more. We can actually have debt eliminated, or a significant portion of it, by August. Would you spend some time and space for me, Kaylia, there? You know how much I love you. So that's right. Queens are raising their standards. Let's see, Sherry, by the end of August, I will launch inspirational healing and have 20 people in program and weigh 125 pounds. Woo, woo, Sherry. Megan, health, finances, business. Yes. By the end of August, business is growing, earning 5K months, planning to travel somewhere inspiring. See how awesome this is? Margareta, hi. Have sold my biggest paintings to official places. Gorgeous. Have signed my $30,000 a year grant writing contract. Aren't these fun? Look at, oh my gosh, they're like pouring in. I'm going so slow here. All right, keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. Because I'm going to read every single one of them. Every single one of them. What happens when you do this real work, this deep work, not like, the other stuff, it's rearranging the furniture on the Titanic. Right? When that self-sabotage programming is there, when that I'm not good enough programming is there, when that's for other people and not me is there, that ship is going down. Your programming is going nowhere successful. But the world would teach us, but why don't we just move the deck chairs over to this end of the boat and then it'll look prettier. And then we're like, oh, well, we should move the deck chairs. And we go and do that, not accessing the power that's inside of us. We're like, well, this is someone successful, so we should move the deck chairs. Come on. So what I'm really excited to do with you all over this 10-week course is to create new set points. When you do this deeper work, you don't just get a one-hit wonder. You create an entirely new set point. And a set point is what you get used to functioning in. When you create, well, first of all, we're just at certain set points. So you may have noticed your scale probably doesn't go that far up and that far down. Relatively speaking, you got a set point for your weight. Money, relatively speaking, even if you do a feast and famine, if you've got that pattern going on, you got a certain set point for your money. You know what I'm saying? Social scene, certain set point. The way you keep your home. You know, it probably doesn't go from like being super organized all the time to super slob all the time. You know, like you have your way of being. And you like, I mean, and maybe you are like, if your set point is super organized and if your set point is super slob, or if your set point is somewhere in between, we have set points in every single area of our life. As a queen, I'm here to help you radically adjust your set points in 10 weeks. That's what happens. Because as feminine women, we are about growth. If you've got this story in you that you're like, when will I ever be satisfied? If you're hanging out with me, the day you make your transition, I don't ever want you to be satisfied. I always want you to be grateful. But the day you become satisfied, you stop growing. The day you stop growing, you start dying. And so set points are foundational markers. And when you get yourself to a certain set point, I remember just when you think you're kind of smart, I had a financial set point of $300 of more than enough or less than enough. And so depending on which day the automatic charge would go through for car payment or insurance or whatever, I was a positive $273 or a negative $273. Like that was sort of like my set point. And it was devastating every single time. It was like a stab in the heart or an ultimate victory to be a positive 273. Like this is how, like where I was at, people. And finally it dawned on me, Gina, if you just kept $1,000 in your bank account, you would never go into the red again. Like my bills at the time were like, that was genius thinking for me, people. Genius, I tell you. Like I was like, why don't you just work to figure out how you can never go below 1,000? Well, that was 273 plus or minus was my set point. Well, then I created a non-negotiable. And I never, no matter what, let my bank account get underneath $1,000. Life-changing. Well, once I did that, that was a new set point. Well, if I can do it with 1,000, I could probably do it with 10. And then 10,000 in the bank account became the new set point that it would never go. And you continue to grow your set points. It's not this up and down and all around and like getting back to starting over. That's exhausting and boring, PS. Let's get you to optimum health. This isn't about bikinis or body shaming. This is about being your best and loving your body that you've been given and taking great care of it. Nobody feels great overweight. It's just physically uncomfortable. And as a queen, I just want you to love yourself if you gave up on that dream. There was someone really close to me, super smart, struggled with her weight her whole life. And she literally said to me, Gina, I'll get a PhD before I ever get my weight issues down. And you know what? She did. And that was 20 years ago, and she still got weight issues and she's got her PhD, right? Like there's this way that we give up on ourselves. And I don't want you to do that. And that's not what queens do. We kind of take a look at moving things forward in ways that feel really pleasurable. I'm not inviting anybody to run a triathlon. Like, this is not what this is about. This is about just you finding the way for you that has you feeling great in your body. This has you, for you, finding the way to feel great about your life's work and contribution and how you want to show up and be of service. And by the way, if you're in that place of like, I don't want to be of service, like I just want to sit poolside in Dubai, I've been there, I get it. But that is not who you actually are. It's just how it feels when you're so depleted. You don't feel that way when you're passionate. You don't feel that way when you're in alignment. You don't feel that way when you're on track. You don't feel that way when you're thriving. You want to give more. You want even more people to experience whatever it is that they're meant to experience from you. And so whether it's money, body, vision, mission, lifestyle counts too. Just because we're spiritual doesn't mean we don't love all things material also. It's about all of it. There's no shaming here. Whatever your expression on this planet is meant to be, I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all at the highest level. I want you to be thriving in life. And I know that's what comes from queenhood. And when you change your set point once, you can change your set point again. And then you can change your set point again. This is about the journey. But the yo-yoing, queens don't yo-yo. They don't go and then get some success and then check out and recoil or think it was lucky or become afraid of success and Queens move their set point, get a solid foundation, get it so in them that they know this is the truth. This is their most authentic self. And then they create another set point that goes even higher. And that becomes the new foundation. And it's so solidly in you. There's no looking back. There's no turning back. There's no like reverting and then creating the next solid set point. This is consciously creating your future. Not just doing the spiritual, well, if it was supposed to happen, God would have had it happen. No, there's no scripture in the Bible that says that. None. That's called a spiritual bypass. We're talking about real spirituality here. We're talking about activating and using the scriptures as they are intended. And that is to move you forward, creating new set points so that you've got a solid foundation, being the queen that only you can be. That no one else can be living your purpose, sharing your message, doing what only you can do with those that must experience it from you, must experience it from you. And when you get so great at being the magnet, that's where I'm going to have you put your attention. If you're in my 10-week course, that's where I'm going to have you put your consciousness, your focus, and your time. You're not going to be working outside of you. You're not going to go chase. You're not going to go grab. You're not going to go push. You're not going to go pull. You're not going to go make it happen. You're going to put in a minimal amount of effort, physical effort, in the minimal amount of time. And you're going to get great at manifesting because you're going to be great at receiving because that's what queens do and that's how queens function. We're not saving prayer as a last resort. We're not using scripture as like nice memes to put in our Instagram feed. We're going to live it in our hearts. And even when we're tempted to look at the physical circumstances and think our dream isn't going to happen, we're going to remember what spiritual law says. You can't be tempted by the external. Even when we're tempted to go and pick up the phone to just get that manifestation in so we can check it off. No. I am a queen and spirit brings my good to me. And there is a fine line. You know, I'm not sitting here on my couch doing nothing. I am training myself to only do when I am spiritually guided. This morning, when I was thinking about this manifestation that I want really badly, I had to admit what I desire more is to be spiritually guided. And even though Gina knew she could go make the phone call, I sat here with my candles and crystals and journal and the whole thing. Was I being spiritually guided to pick up the phone and make the phone call? I got no problem if I'm spiritually guided. And I got a big resounding silence at 4:37 in the morning. And I was all ears. And there's a peace within in knowing the difference. So much of my life, I lived in this like, was that God? Was that me? Should I do something? Am I being lazy? Is the miracle happening? Or should I count on marketing? Like there was all this. And then I don't know about you, but I'm really good at convincing myself what I want to hear. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to make the phone call. Faith without works is dead. I'm supposed to work this. No, we're talking about a level of emotional and spiritual maturity that few women ever get access to. I got to tell you, as much as I want this manifestation, I want spiritual guidance more. I want the power in me to draw and magnetize my good to me in perfect divine timing. I want that more. I'll tell you what it is, than my Soho House membership. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, but sometimes it's fun to hear the details. I've wanted a Soho House membership for years. I've applied this and that. A friend of a friend put in the recommendation for me. They said it went through. I was supposed to receive an email, the whole thing. And I followed up once when I was told I was supposed to receive the email, and something about it's still in process. And so like I could keep following up and pushing this through, or I can be spiritually guided. And either it comes to me or I will be guided to make a phone call. But I got so bored and depleted when I was running the show of my life. My best ideas weren't that grand. All of my effort didn't make that much money. Definitely wasn't fun. The stuff that I was forcing had me feel empty and lonely. Like I just got really clear that running ahead of God doesn't work. It's not what I'm interested in. And I'm not doing this a superficial, let go and let God. I am diving deep into applying what actually creates radical transformation in my life and in the lives of anyone who does it. And it is only, your external will only change by raising your consciousness and changing your perception of yourself. End of story. You want to know what you think about yourself? Take a look at your bank account. It's not about people who have more money are better people. Please do not misrepresent. It's about a certain level of availability. And I can say this because I was there. When my bank account was struggling, there was a certain amount of struggle I was available for. There was a certain amount of lack I was available for. And I think it was Maya Angelou that said, you know, a woman who loves herself if she's got 9 months of bills in the bank. And I never realized, I thought it was just money. But then you realize that it is a form of self-care and self-love, to prioritize yourself and your wellness and your whatever it is. And you get to pick what the numbers are for you. But that's my point. We can do the same thing with our bodies. We can do the same thing with our social circles. You know, when I was around people that I thought were friends and they were really colleagues at best. I didn't mean to cancel that. I don't mean to roll my eyes. They were other people in the industry. I didn't have enough of a sense of self to require deep, solid friendship, sisterhood, You know what I'm saying? So this is what I mean, that you're just going to be waking up to all of the areas that you're going to love yourself so much more. You're going to be there for yourself so much more. And this, with your increased consciousness, is what, and the only thing that will radically change your external environment. And so this is why I'm obsessed. I don't want your future just happening. I want you to consciously create an epic future that you're proud of, that you're like, yep, look at that body transformation. Yep, look at that financial transformation. Yep, look at that lifestyle. Look at how much fun I'm having in my life. Like, I actually transformed myself from being busy and working all the time and being stressed and everything being heavy to having fun on a regular basis. Radical for women, radical. So this is what's available. And this is what's possible for each and every one of you. You are not here by any form of circumstance. You're here because your soul, just like mine, is screaming for the bigger life, screaming for something more, screaming for a better way, screaming for the real you to be able to take center stage and thrive. So let me share with you what is happening very, very soon in this brand new, never before done program. If you go to divineliving.com/own your throne, this is a 10-week spiritual journey to being the queen of your life. And we know what queenhood is. It's about being benevolent, and it is about totally ending all of this stuff. Lost, left, less than, left behind, broken, abandoned, worthless, invisible, unloved, incapable. All of that goes. I want to share with you, and it might make more sense to you now, why this curriculum is critical to your transformation. So what we will be doing for 2 weeks, every single week together, I am going to do an hour of teaching, and then I'm going to do an hour of actual coaching so that you get to apply this to your life and see how it's applied to other women's lives as well. So week 1 is all about falling in love with your life and declaring your non-negotiable desires. If you don't know what you want, if you don't know what lights you up, if you used to, but you're like, I'm not even sure what I care about anymore, or you do, and you're ready to really make it real, that's what week 1 is about. Week 2, master the skill of self-permission and never doubt yourself again. What's holding us back? Permission to speak our truth, permission to show up, permission to invest, permission to say no, permission to take a risk. Like, all the self-doubt, you don't have time for that as a queen. And so that has got to get eradicated. It's only going to get eradicated through the programming that must be changed. And then week 3, we're going to dive into becoming untriggerable and eliminating self-sabotage. I've gotten a few DMs and a couple of texts recently that the old me, I can literally say, my body isn't even the same. My old self would have been triggered, upset. I would have had all kinds of not happy chemicals going through my body. Then the next thing that I do after I've mulled it over enough for me, then I usually go and tell someone. If I think Glenn's going to be available for it, I'll go to him. If not, I'll call a girlfriend and complain about it, right? What? How are we spending our time and our days? And how is that going to get us to our epic future? It's not. But when you're in trigger, it's kind of like asking, what do you do once the car has gone off the cliff? I'm going to teach you how to not even have the car go off the cliff, and no more self-sabotage of focusing on the low vibe, ridiculousness, complaining, gossiping, none of it. For such a time as this, this is what we've not only lived our whole lives for, but especially these past 2 years. For such a time as this, look at what's going on in the world. And apparently it's not even done yet. The recession, this, that, whatever. Do you know how much this world needs you and your bright light and your mission and you thriving and you not being scared of money and the economy and all that stuff? Yes, queen. Week 5, who doesn't love getting great at receiving and serving? So you're going to be in your full-blown mission by making spirituality your superpower. Every single week, we're going to be diving in deep with prayers and meditations and spiritual teachings. There's a workbook. You're going to wake up to your truth by accessing your intuition. Like I said, there was a time when I wouldn't have been able to tell if I was supposed to make the phone call or not. My intuition is so intact right now. I knew, even though I didn't like the answer, I knew what it was. So I was able to follow it. The courage to communicate like a queen. This one is everything. It's about how you communicate to yourself, obviously everything, but then how you communicate to others. No more bitch mode and no more going invisible. Learning to really deeply be there for you and deeply be there for the other person. That's transformation. That changes the world. Nobody needs another invisible woman and nobody needs another bitch. We need you and your truth to have a voice. And we get to be in relationship. The feminine is a relationship. The feminine is about we. The masculine is about I. We've been taught just to get our needs met, take the bull by the horn, have the last word. How's that worked out for us? Week 8, we're going to rewrite the hidden subconscious contracts that have ruined your life. Week 9, strengthen your self-worth and live your unique purpose with confidence. And 10, live your legendary life using the feminine art of manifesting every day, all day. You just get to keep applying it, keep watching it work, keep having the miracles happen. Yes, queen, yes. All right, so how this works. Every week, 2-hour calls on Zoom. They're recorded. If you can't be there live, I got you. And the combination of this epic, never before seen teaching and coaching. You're going to get my 20 years of coaching expertise. We're going to dive in. It's going to be super exciting. I've created a brand new workbooks for you to really go through every single week on that subject, for you to be able to really personalize this. I'm not cookie cuttering this. And the thing that's ruining one woman's life is not necessarily ruining yours and vice versa. So you're going to get in deep with yourself. Weekly prayers to enhance your spiritual journey, weekly meditations to access that new level of consciousness and attract new opportunities to you, and your own community of queens, a Facebook group where you get to interact with everyone. There's a couple other things you'll learn with me. Like, I put the stuff on the page that you get so much more. I'm just saying. One of the other things that you're going to get is a welcome packet. Normally, I don't do this with larger groups and courses. I only do this with private clients and like the retreat as well. And I want to know each and every one of you. And I want you to get that you're not a number, and that you don't get to hide, that who you are matters and what you've been through matters. And so there's a welcome packet that I'm going to be reading on each and every one of you, about your past and your history and your dreams and what you're here for. You matter. You matter. And when I have some context, don't hold me to remembering everyone's name and everything, but I will read every packet. And when I've got some context of what I'm working with, then when I go in and coach, that things are going to make a lot more sense. There's also I think one of the reasons why a lot of courses don't work for people, one, they're only working matter to matter from the outside. But two, you're adding a new course and time commitment to an already full plate. And so next Thursday, I'm going to be doing a welcome call for those of you who are registered at that point live, to really prepare you. I'm going to show you how to create the space to maximize. This is the feminine way to receive new information from a course. I'm not just going to dump more onto your already busy life. So I'm going to help prepare you so that you will be able to take in this information. And by the way, you have it for life. Like these recordings, these workbooks, all of it. So you'll be able to return to it for life, for life, for life. I also wanted to make this as I wanted the investment to honor the quality and the content of what you're going to receive. And I also wanted to make it as accessible to anybody who was interested. And so the full pay for the 10 weeks is $997, or I have stretched out for a year the payment plan, which basically comes down to $3.50 a day. And so you got to decide that you're worth $3.50 a day, that your queenhood is, that your intuition is, that your new set points are, that you finally getting out of whatever's been keeping you stuck and totally thriving financially and otherwise has got to be worth $3.50 a day to you. And for those of you that are craving travel and the in-person experience, you get the entire 10-week course for free when you do the retreat. And the retreat is August 5th through 7th. This one is smaller, and my retreats always sell out. I keep them very small and intimate so everybody can have private coaching time during the group setting. It's a really beautiful time. We do lunches together, and it's a full 3 days of just epic, glorious transformation. So if you know that you want to do the retreat and you're looking to get money together, no problem. Go ahead and register for either payment option. And then when you've got the money ready for the retreat, if there's still space available, then we'll just make the price adjustments and we'll get you in there. So don't miss out on getting time to have that welcome packet, because it's quite extensive. You're going to need time to fill it out. I'm going to need time to read it. Get in the Facebook group and do your introduction. It's been, I went in there yesterday to do mine, and it's going to be really exciting to get to know you all in the Facebook group. And then by registering today, you will also get all the information for the preview prep calls so that you can really maximize this course. So I want you there live, and I'll be taking your questions live as well. From this point forward, everything you do with me has live interaction and live question. That's what the coaching is there for. There's questions every single week that I will be there for you. So go to divineliving.com/own your throne and make yourself the priority. Make this the opportunity where you are just saying, I am no longer going to be left behind. I am no longer going to keep talking about that dream. Somehow, some way, by me changing my perception of myself and raising my consciousness and learning how to draw and magnetize my good to me, is going to change my life forever in so many ways. And these are business skills. These are life skills. This is true queenhood, femininity, spirituality at its finest. So I've seen so many of you already register, and it's really, really exciting to see who I'm going to be on this 10-week journey with. And for those of you that haven't gotten yourself registered, go jump in and do it today. It's going to just really prepare you. You're going to get that welcome packet. You're going to get the schedule for the calls. You're going to get the preview call. I want to really prepare you. Don't wait till the last minute. A lot of people do that. Queens don't. You know what you're going to do. You know that this is absolutely worth it to you, beyond worth your $3.50 a day. So get in on it. And I cannot wait to get to know you, to study you, to warmly welcome you, and to be in this vortex of women who are daring to do life and business and money differently. You know, everyone else, I mean, other people are just too afraid that if they're not busy enough and working hard enough and following all the massive action, masculine ways, that they're going to be left behind, and they're just going to get their adrenals blown out, and they're going to get exhausted, and then they're going to notice you and be like, maybe there is something to this feminine thing. Maybe there is something to this miracle thing. Maybe there is another way to do life. So come join me and the other women who've already said yes, and just give your soul this nourishment and be the shining light to so many others, because people will be watching what you got going on. It is my great, great joy and honor to have spent these 3 beautiful days with you. I hope this has been a blessing in your life. If you would be so kind to leave a comment. I'm curious, what is the number one takeaway that you've gotten either from our time together or that you've gotten from today? It's so important to me that even if we're not in live conversation here, that I'm able to hear from you and that there is a dialogue going on. So take a moment and let me know, what did you get for you? Because I just want to honor you for showing up. You know, and myself, you know, you opt in, you don't save the time. There's a lot of people that opted in and weren't here. You're here. And you got something major for yourself. And so I just want to know what it is. I want you to take the time to acknowledge what it is. I'm like, scrolling through and seeing all these beautiful queens from around the world. What's your number one takeaway for you from any of the days? I would so love to see what that is. And I'm really, really, really excited and feel so honored to be on this journey with you. For those of you that are going to move forward with us, the epic transformations, the life-changing work, the joy of the relationships that get formed along the way. Those of you that are alumni from my programs, drop a comment in like, haven't you met your best friends, your business besties, people to inspire you, like people that you like might not have in your own community? I'm one of the things that I take zero credit for, and I don't know how this happened because I was such a loner for so much of my life, but somehow in these programs, just the world's most amazing women showed up. And there's something in the co-creation here that you are going to meet a caliber of women. It's never been cliquey. It's never been the cool kids and not like it's always been inclusive. It's always been a love fest. It's always been everyone counts and everyone matters. And so also that's just one of the benefits that you get from being in my programs is this element of sisterhood that I have not seen the same flavor of elsewhere. It's really, really beautiful to see. So get yourself in, get yourself registered, give yourself this gift. You have lifetime access and you've got 10 weeks to massively change your life. So super excited to be on the journey with you. For everyone else, thank you so much for being here. Mwah. Godspeed and God bless. And until next time, bye-bye. All right, and there you have it. I hope that you have loved every minute of this series. I have loved being here with you, and I would love it even more to be on this 10-week journey with you where you can own your past, present, and future, really diving in deep to the heroine story of the Esther experience that I will be teaching in the Own Your Throne 10-week course. So if you want to get in on this, click on the link in the show notes. You'll be able to be taken to the page where you'll get all the details and all the information. You can get yourself registered. And if you want to upgrade with an in-person luxury retreat, that option is there as well. So make sure you click on the link in the show notes, and I look forward to seeing you over the next 10 weeks.